Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to cut the lace on a wig. When you first get a wig and you don't really know what to do with it, it can be quite daunting for you to cut the lace because you're worried that you'll ruin the wig. It's actually a lot easier than you would think it would be, and I've got this beautiful unit here to demonstrate. When it first comes, it comes with a large lace front. This is so that people with different sizes of foreheads can cut it to their liking. I'll show you with it on. Now some people prefer to keep their lace longer, not as long as this, but longer so that they can glue their wig down. Some people like to take it all the way up to the hairline. For me personally, I like to take it all the way up, but I'll show you how to do it if you want to leave it so that you can also glue it down, and then I can cut mine further afterwards. If you're very nervous and you don't want to cut your lace, but you still want to wear your wig, I will show you one more method that you can use. What you need first is a good pair of scissors. Now I've heard that you can use shears to do it, which have got like a staggered edge, so it's a bit razored. Personally, I've not tried them and I thought about it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it because I prefer a straight edge on my wig so it blends better. So I use proper hairdressing scissors. So the best way to cut the lace is to start in the middle. I'm going to put it on a mannequin's head, but if you don't have one, it doesn't matter. You can hold it. But you need to judge roughly where you want the lace to be cut up into. And I'm going to cut it not as far as I usually would today, just to show you. I always start in the middle and make a little cut about level with the brows. You can also put a little mark on the lace with a pen if you wanted, just to gauge where. And I'm only going to do it about 3/4 of the way up, just to show you with a little bit of lace left. Then cut along, very small snips and steps, so that you don't feel intimidated by it. Just going to try and balance Betty over here so I can show you. And I cut all the way around. Keep an eye and try and keep it level. It doesn't matter if it's perfectly level, but it will be easier for sticking down if it's relatively level. Now when I get to about halfway down, I then pull out the side bit here so I can judge. Here you get something called ear flaps. A lot of people like to keep these tabs on so that they can stick down the hair. So if you were going to do that, so I'm trying to do this backwards. If you wanted to keep the ear tabs, the best thing to do would be to cut diagonally down to there till the lace comes off smoothly, and then that leaves your ear flap intact. I'm going to do the same the other side, but I'm going to do it facing me just because I can't do it the wrong way around for both. So at this point my lace is relatively straight still. I've cut it down and I've left the ear flaps intact, and you'll see now when I put it on my head where it comes to. So there is lace sticking there. Now what a lot of people do, obviously cut it to where you prefer. Some people like 2 inches, some people like less. Ideally you shouldn't have your hairline showing even if you've got dark hair, especially with lighter wigs, so it would sit there. So you might want to take that lace up a little bit further. But what you would do is glue the lace down, which I'll show you how to do in another video. And once it's down, a lot of people blend the line there a little bit with foundation, which you can also do. Then you've got your ear flaps here, which are at the side under the hair. And then what you do again is you glue those down. You will probably need to cut them back a little bit on the side here for your ear. Now what I would suggest you would do is take a pen and draw where you want it to, and then cut along the draw line. That way you know you're doing it accurately. That's always a good way to do it. If you wanted to take the lace back further, like I do, and you want to take it all the way back to your hairline or as near to, it's the same process, but you're just cutting it more. I would cut it a little bit at a time, just so that you're comfortable with how much you're taking off, like you would when you're cutting a fringe. Slow is always better. So if you want to take the lace away higher, I always take mine to the hairline. The reason for doing that is because I tend to not glue them down. And again, I'd find the centre and just cut along. Same process. Now you may find when you're cutting along here that some of the hair comes out because it's where it's rooted and attached. Don't be afraid, because it doesn't mean you've done it wrong. It's quite normal to lose a little bit of hair from the sides if you're doing it this way. And the best thing to do is, once you've cut the lace back, is just run your hand down the side like this and pull off any loose hair that was attached to that part of the lace. It will look like you've lost a lot of hair, but really in the grand scheme of things it's not. You won't notice that loss when you're actually wearing the wig. The same with the other side. So you don't have to cut completely back to the hairline if you're not comfortable doing that. You can cut slightly before so that you don't lose any of the hair attached, but I always find that the wigs always have more hair than they need to anyway. So again, just pull out any excess. You can also use a brush, run the brush through it to get rid of any excess hair. This kind of colouring, if you're wearing a lighter wig cap, won't show as much. I don't mind if you see a little bit of my hair underneath, because I feel like it gives me more of a rooted look, which I prefer anyway. Now what I usually do as well is, at the root part here, my head naturally has like a little widow's peak, so like a little up and downy bit. So I always add that into my wigs by just cutting a little semicircle there, right where the hairline is, because that's how my hair falls. If you don't feel like it's straight, you can always snip little bits off at a time. Again, just go slow. Remember, you don't have to rush this. But also remember that it isn't the most scary thing, even though it might feel like it. Because even if you go wrong, you can just take the lace all the way back to the hairline. And it might be a little bit more difficult to stick down, but it won't ruin the lace. It is also possible, which I will show you in another video, to add lace. So if you do make a mistake, I have at times, for other people, added lace to it by getting some lace and attaching it. So don't worry. There's nothing that can't be repaired when it comes to wigs, but I'll show you how to do that in another video. So you can see I've tucked mine all the way up, because that's how I like it. Now if I'm wearing this wig, this one here, I can get away with cutting a bit more off. Now I wouldn't suggest doing it against your head, but I'm going to, because I always do. But you can put it on your mannequin or take it off a bit and just level it up. What I would suggest you do is to draw with a pen what you want to take off and then cut it. Not do it on your head like me, because I don't want anybody telling me they've cut their head following my tutorial. These ones, although they're sharp for hairdressing, they're rounded at the ends so that I don't cut my head with them. And I'm just trimming up the lace so that it matches all the way around. And that is how I do my lace. I have in this case left the ear tabs for gluing down in case I feel like it, and if you do the glue right and pull it all the way back, you won't even know it's been glued down, and it will give you a more natural look along the hairline. And then you would just blend that down with concealer. If you hold it down, you can also see as well if you've still got too much lace on it. Again, do that with a pen. But now when I pull the ear tab down and I know that I'm going to glue it down, the hair will fall naturally there. You're not going to see any of the lace, which is how I like it. I hope that tutorial's been useful for you on how to cut the lace. As I say, I know it's a scary process, but there isn't really anything you can do that you can't unfix with it. So give it a try. It still has the lace attached also, because I haven't gotten around to removing the lace on this one. So you can pop it on your head, and if you don't want to cut the lace, I mean this one's quite invisible anyway, so you can't actually see it when it's pressed against your head, but if you didn't want to cut it because you were too frightened, just use your fingers and tuck it under like that, all the way round. You can tuck it back under like that to hide the lace, and then you've still got it and you're still wearing it. But I would prefer to cut it. I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please subscribe to the channel and set the little bell icon so that you can get future alerts for future videos.